Hi everybody, how are you doing? This is sjsrana, so introducing Rana, reporting for August 4, 2021, time 800 hours UTC. So we're going to discuss Olympics, global events, biosecurity and UNSC and what's going on with human rights and everything else. So first of all, we're going to discuss Mijian Lopez, who is the only Olympian, you can say sixth Olympian who has ever won 4 gold medals in a row. What an accomplishment from this athlete. Also some unique pictures. So what a photo we can see here. She had her gold medal and silver medal at the same time. So okay, coming back to the main topic, Olympics. Tokyo, we see China leading the pack with 32 medals, overall about 69 medals, and United States followed by Japan, and Australia at the 4th position. India was at 64th position, but it got one bronze medal recently, so it's got 62 ranking overall in the whole world. So obviously Olympics, basically Tokyo has been focus attention for the whole world now, and people are enjoying watching daily different games. And I recently watched the soccer game between Mexico and Brazil, and what a game it was. Complete stretch till the extra time, and then they had to decide on penalties where Brazil won over Mexico over the penalties. So what a game. So coming back to what's going on with these global events, and we quickly jumping to the recent issues going on with the India rape saga or the rape scandal. And recently 9-year-old girl was brutally murdered, raped, sexual assault on a 9-year-old girl has rocked the nation India once again. And there has been protest in Delhi, wide protest in Delhi, and they are just asking question to the government, what's the safety of women and females and minor girls especially by the government. This is such a brutal and a shameful event that it has rocked the nation. However, we don't still see massive 666 million females of India mass protesting. They think it's like a regular day-to-day affair. What if one minor girl is being brutalized and raped by gang of sexual pedophiles and predators? I have no clue. I reside here in India for almost ever since I returned from America, 2010. I was residing in US earlier, and I was residing in Canada, working there for blue chip companies, ID companies. But ever since I have come back here in 2010, and I don't see that willingness of the people to basically have a higher consciousness in India towards the social causes. This is highly a big social cause where, this gang rape nation, India has been thriving. Human trafficking empire has been thriving all through, and people really don't care. They don't care. It's like so self-centric people. I've never seen such people in the whole world. I've traveled across nations. I've traveled across many orientations of the people, but I've never seen people like such. Look at this incident where a girl is openly molested by a simple boy who is asking her, befooling her for an address. So you can call a metaphor games. India plays these metaphor games all across. In front of my house, 1493, phase 3B2, Sahasnagar, Mohali. For last 8 months, some idiots, some gang criminals were daily playing metaphor games in front of my house. And they think this human trafficking empire thinks they're going to befool me so that I'll participate. Folks, I never participate in metaphor games. From the day when I recognized this is a trap, a honey trap, you call it, and it was human trafficking agents. And look at the plight of this girl. And I really have applause and for this brave girl who caught this stalker, and he groped her openly. Can you imagine? These guys running on bikes are groping girls openly. They mislead them by asking their address. Some address they're asking, and the girls stopped to help this guy. And later this guy groped her openly, grabbing her private parts. Can you imagine? And every female of India, especially minor girls, know this can happen to them anytime. And obviously for 90% of minor girls, this has already happened. I am watching, I am endorsing for them because they cannot speak. Because if the minor girls speak, India trafficking agents, empire agents colluded with the authorities are going to grab them and are going to post threat on them. They intimidate them. And this goes on because the authorities collude with them. It's a open fact. Everybody knows about it. Any investigative journalist can go and inquire to the girls and females of India. Do they fear government of India or the government local authorities? They'll say yes. They fear them because they are colluding with them. So this is how it's happening. So imagine this girl, she has nabbed him down, and let's hear her.
Still he was trying to get, out of the situation. Not hurry pelalu guli hai, all the polai guli ho joy. Witness sabhi ifale udibo pare. Ibu manu sabi sai asile.
হেল্প কৰিবতো নোৱাৰিম ভাই, এইখিনি আৰু তই ভুল কৰিছ।
Harassment mentality, sexually harass কৰিবি ছোৱালীক আৰু পলাই যাবি আৰু তহঁতৰ কাৰণে ছোৱালীয়ে ঘূৰিব নোৱাৰে। আমি ভয় ভয়কে খোজ কাঢ়িব লাগে ৰাস্তাত। বলা পুলিচৰ ডাক বলা, আপুনি পুলিচক ফোন কৰক, মোক কৰিব নালাগে।
সেইটো কেনেকৈ উঠাম এতিয়া আমি আকৌ?
কিয় এইটো কৰিলে কওকচোন কেমেৰাত? কিয় কৰিলে? এইফালে চাওক আৰু কওক।
হেলমেটটো খুলিব দিয়ক।
এইফালে এইফালে
হেলমেট খুলক আপুনি, মুখখন লওক। আপুনি ভুল কৰিছে ন এতিয়া। হেলমেটটো খুলি দিয়ক, জোৰ জবৰদস্তি নকৰোঁতে খুলি দিয়ক। নহয় দিয়ক, খুলি দিয়ক। আপুনি মাস্কখন আৰু হেলমেটটো খুলি দিয়ক।
আৰু হেলমেটটো খোলক।
আপুনি ভুল কৰিছে, আপুনিতো এতিয়া এনেকৈ নহয় ন চব কাম। আপোনালোকৰ কাৰণে আমিওতো বদনামী হৈ যাব লগা হয় ন।
এইবোৰ মানুহ এই আণ্টিজনীয়ে চাই আছিলে, গোটেইখিনি দেখিছে, চব ৰেকৰ্ডেড আছে। চ' ডোন্ট ৱৰি, এবাৰ খোলক আৰু মুখখন দেখাওক। কি হিৰো বুলি ভাবিছে নেকি এনেকে ছোৱালীক ডমিনেট কৰি ৰাস্তাই ঘাটে? শ্ব' মি ইউৰ ফেচ। মুখখন দেখাওক, নহ'লে কথা বেয়া হৈ যাব। কথা বেয়া কৰিব মন নাই যদি মুখখন দেখাওক। এইফালে হওক। আই ৱন্ট টাচ ইউ, শ্ব' ইউৰ ফেচ। ঠিক আছে, মাস্কখন খোলক এবাৰ। মাস্কখন খোলক। লাগি গৈছে, এনেকে কোনে গ্ৰপ কৰি লাগি যায়?
যদি হাত দিছা হয় এইটো কথা কনচিডাৰ কনফিউজন নাহে। মানুহ আমাৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী ভাই আছে,
আপোনাৰ নামটো কওক, ইফালে চাওক আৰু নামটো কওক।
Obviously, metaphor games played by these human trafficking empire agents are the prime reason why females are suffering in India. And you can see this incident, how easily boys over here grope girls. I mean, this is such a trap, they just don't have shame at all. Such a shameful incident. And she clearly said, because of you, men like you, we cannot roam safely and freely in India. She has clearly mentioned the plight of other females, because she must be going to college or school and she must be hearing these incidents so common. So she took this stand. I mean, such a brave girl. I think India government should recognize her and award her something. I mean, forget the Olympics. This is the real Olympics going in India. Daily girls are gang raped, massive gang rapes, sexual predators are entrapping and enslaving these minor girls all across India. And nobody ever cares. Have you ever seen these people coming to media? No, they are more, India boys are more careful, more caring about creating a video content which is where they are dancing. They're just dancing or they're singing. They don't care about the social cause. Nobody would in India care about the social cause. An average person don't even come into this picture because most of them are sexual predators themselves. 90% of India males are sexual predators by the account. Only 30% are the offenses basically reaches the court, and only 5% or 7% get convicted. So you can imagine the scale of these operations. So recently, this 9-year-old girl, we have already covered this topic, and how these predators are easily targeting females. I mean, it's a complete nexus of you can say human trafficking empire agents and massive amount of India's sexual predators population and the collusion with authorities. So this is whole saga of what they call India rape saga or India rape scandal going all across India. And this now we can also come to know how females fear these pedophiles or sexual predator population, because they have the capability, colluding with authorities, to frame innocence in any case. Look at this female who was proposed to marry some affluent businessman, and upon rejection, he threatened her that of dire consequences, not just killing or murdering or brutalizing her family. It was that she can be implicated in a false case. It's very easy in India to implicate any innocent on a false case. I tell you, authorities turn blind eye. Corruption is so high that if you give, let's say, even $100 to any authority here, any authority person of India, they will easily implicate you in a false and fabricated case. Look at this girl life ruined by this businessman who proposed her for marriage. She denied, and upon instigation, he said, "Okay, let me put you some, drug trafficking case." So she was booked under drug trafficking case known as, narcotics, and under basically it's NDPS Act, which is a very, very dangerous act because it's equivalent to terrorism, NDPS Act. And booking a person under an NDPS Act is a very, very big thing in India because it's equivalent to terrorism. So folks, her whole life was turned upside down, and 400 grams of ganja was found in the store. And this is what they claim, or the authorities or the police reported to the court. But upon investigation and upon relooking at the case, they found that this was all complete setup by simple refusal to marry a businessman who set her up into this NDPS Act of India. And she landed in jail, or she must have gone through I can understand, because I've myself been implicated in a false and fabricated cases by some of the person of India colluding with the authorities. And I wonder, what happens to those people when they find the case is fake and fabricated, and in the courts. Are they going to punish or penalize those people who have framed her? That's the story I was looking here in this news. I could not find. Only this was a recent news, just a day old, from August 4th, day or two old. And I picked up this story, and this has come up again and again, but it could be an issue for reported as like 30 or 20 days old. But it's a recent story. So what a bizarre scenario in India it can happen, to anyone. Imagine the kind of authorities get bribed or corrupted. Officials can do anything under your name, or they can drag you to the court. I would love to see what punishment the court would have given to the authorities who reported fake case, who colluded with this businessman to implicate this innocent girl under NDPS Act of India. So folks, very, very gruesome scenario. And another, there is an ongoing debate going on because recently a US lawmaker who named a rape accuser says she didn't nothing wrong. So basically the rape accuser, where they find that there is some problem or there is some indication that it's a fake and fabricated. And in US, people don't bear any false or fabricated case. They always stand by truth. So people do speak out. And in this case, this is a big question mark to the courts and the overall freedom of people, individual. If a person is filing fake and fabricated case against a targeted individual, let's say a sexual assault, sexual battery, and later when the court finds that, absolves the person and finds it's a fake and fabricated case, at that time, can the name of the person, the accuser, rape accuser, be released for the people's benefit? So everyone else benefits knowing that this person can file fake and fabricated case, it's a fraud. Because what happens normally, like if you go by jurisdiction of India court, they have strictly ordered that any rape accuser can never be named. Well, that's okay. I mean, I understand the reason behind it. But what's the Article 21 of India Constitution or 22 saying for individual rights and freedom? What happens when a court finds that a person who is accused of rape has not done anything wrong? He has not actually done any sexual battery or sexual assault. And once the rape acquits that person, should the name from the documents of the court be not erased or redacted? That's the question. I mean, this is the basic question which even a High Court of India is trying to juggle up. And recently the Madras High Court has said that there are certain finer aspects which have to be considered, failing to which may open up floodgates if the court were to order redacting petitioner's name from the verdict and the court order on his criminal case. So I think this is basic question I'm asking for last many years. when they've started using this fact that, okay, you cannot put the accuser's name. But what about a person who's accused falsely, fabricated cases? Should the name not be redacted from all court's document? And should the name of the person who has filed the fake and fabricated case be not penalized or punished by the court? If not, then what punishment is liable for that fake and fraudster who's filing a fake or fabricated case? That's the open question, because it is basically going back to Article 21 of India. This thing is challenging the Article 21. If government or courts are not able to provide this feedback, then it's going to be a whole hell loose. Tomorrow it's going to be a big rigmarole. There's going to be a big protest. I'm telling you. There has to be some reason. Because, you know, folks, I keep telling, this is by emails I keep writing to my subscriber. And recently I've written this email. I've mentioned, you know, in India, I've seen that 8 out of every 10 India population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars attacking humanity. This statement I keep repeating again and again. These girls who are suffering, or the innocents who are suffering, is because of only one reason. Always remember, 8 out of every 10 India population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars attacking humanity. This is the mail I sent from surandder.ocp@gmail.com. And I keep telling, because this is the fact I see here. People don't fear here of telling a lie. They become pathological liars sooner or later. It comes into their nature. And once the nation or the masses turn to becoming a pathological liars, then pathogens, virus are just around the corner. That's why India keep asking why it had to face such a brutal wave 2 of COVID-19, whereas in wave 1 they had nothing. It was scant-free. Well, India has to answer. Am I telling a truth? Or they are more truthful? 8 out of every 10 India population. Pathological liars, folks. They will lie just about anything. So that's the problem going on, and it's basically fuming the hate crimes. The floodgates of hate crimes are open in India. You know, I keep telling, you know, the hate crimes is so high in India, you can never trust a person. In India, it's very hard to trust a person. That's why I keep myself isolated. And I keep repeating this because this is the fact. Unless you are a dreaded criminal, you're a dacoit, you are a pathological liar, then it's okay, you can roam freely in India. It's very easy. If you're a pathological liar, you're just like them, like a crowd, then you can roam freely, intermingle with anyone, because you have backing of your criminal friends or criminal nexus. But if you're innocent, you're like a sage or you're like a saint, it is like you have to die a very lonely death in India. And that's why I keep repeating, what is the basic definition of terrorism then? Hate crimes. What about the gang rapes? Are they not terrorism? Now, since UNSC is being headed by India, I think the first question Mr. Modi on August 9th, 2021 should answer is terrorism not a gang rape, or a gang rape not a terrorism? So folks, you know, what's the hate crime a person has to fear? The pathological liars. That's why I keep mentioning, you know, I keep my gates, doors always locked 24/7. I mentioned this numerous times on my oneworldpress.wordpress.com and my emails. I reside here for last 10 years, 1493 Phase 3B2, Sasnagar, India, also known as Mohali. And I'm giving you this because you can always see this practical live example. I'm residing inside my house. As I'm speaking this, I'm talking on this discourse. I'm residing in my house, but my gates are always locked because I fear people here. I can't trust people around. They have high level of hate crime, or else they are pathological liars. 8 out of every 10 in India. Population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars. And that's why these people can file fake and fabricated cases. Look at these two people. What a sham on humanity they are. They call themselves something or something. But these people are listed because I don't redact. After I was proven innocent in the courts of India, and they were proven that they filed fake and fabricated cases colluding with authorities, I am publicly saying that these people should be scared. You should be scared of these people. They are fraudsters. They are 420 people who can tie up into any ball game. You know, if they can lie and upfront lie in court and say any statement and then run away, then don't turn up for years. You know, my simple trial took about almost 3.5 years, more than that, because these two people, fraudsters, never show up for more than 15 months to even give their basic statement. After initial statement, they ran away, fearing that they are caught now. And this is what this High Court of India, Madras High Court, is trying to address. Should the name of the innocent, after being proven in the court not guilty or acquitted, not be redacted from the documents from all the records? That's where the India Constitution, India government should be playing Olympics into. When they are watching Olympics right now, I understand. All India Parliament is watching Olympics, government is watching Olympics. They don't care of anti-trafficking bill lying on the table. They don't care. Minor girls are being daily gang raped, murdered brutally. They don't care because they know nobody is going to challenge them. Nobody can bring them down from their seat, from their power. They know they will always get paycheck in time, regardless of how many gang rapes occur in India or how many fraudsters impostors are roaming free, cyber criminals are roaming free. They don't care. And nobody cares in India also. They're only victims, they're only innocents, they're only their cries, but nobody cares. So that's why 666 million females of India never mass protest on daily brutal gang rapes of minor girls. They're seeing these news from the daily eyes. They think as if like it's a sitcom comedy going on. They don't care. Where are the mass protests, you tell me? If they care, they would have a mass protest. Every nation in the world, every nation will go for a mass protest. So anyway, folks, quickly jumping on to the other topic, the inflation and GDP and unemployment. As I've been telling, IMF recently downgraded India from 12.5% GDP growth to 9.5%. And that means there is a reason, but India authorities who are experts in befooling the world quickly rebuked the IMF that you are basically way off the mark. So they are trying to now demonize, or they're trying to demoralize, or they're trying to put black trust on IMF now, challenging IMF. What a laughable situation. As if India government or India authorities or India financial experts are the real pundits of the whole world. They know how to run the finances of everything. Well, let's look at the real picture. I've been telling that India GDP is not more than 8% for FY22. I've been telling this for almost 2 years. And these pundits have only recently come to say, oh, no. We were 12.5%. So the reason is because there is so much of cooling down. Inflation is too high. I tell you, these people will lie upfront because they're being heavily paid by the government. They will lie. Paid to lie. Paid to deceive, deception. That real inflation of India is in double digit. If it's not 13% or 14%, it's in double digit. But they will say, no, it's just 6% or 6.25% annual. But I'm telling you, it's just 13-14%. That's the inflation. Unemployment, 250 million skilled workers unemployed in India. Big number. It's like a recession going on. But what did India government recently do? It was very happy, glad to implement amidst COVID-19 disaster of India, 7th pay commission, where they increased the P&DA for central government employees. They said, wow, very good job done. Sitting at home, idling at home, just issuing orders after orders for nothing. And then we are pleased with your efforts. So they increase their payment. So this is what it happens under the recession, under the COVID-19 disaster. They really don't care. They really don't care. But people also really don't care what the government does. And that's why India is the most, you can say, most unruly nation out of the whole world, where anybody can rule. Anybody can rule anybody. So folks, whatever is going on with the cyber crime is too much. Recently there's a government has prepared a report to the parliamentarians, or you can say lawmakers, that over 93,000 cyber crime cases are reported in 3 years. It's a huge number. Again, many of those cyber crimes, which are huge in number, like in 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.4 million, are not even going into courts or cases because they are just being reported on the portal. Recently, India government has launched a portal where a innocent who has been victim of impersonator or these imposters, or you can say cybercrime criminals, can report to their government portal website, where they are reporting that over 0.4 million cybercrime complaints in less than a year. Yes, just in 12 months down the line, there has been 0.4 million cyber attacks or cybercrime criminals. trying to lure innocent or trying to implicate innocent or trying to attack. Cybercrime is such a big activity, you know. Recently we have seen how India's fake call centers or these callers from India, fake imposters, impersonator, can impersonate as a IRS or CRA agent and calling USA and Canada and scamming those people, and millions have been taken off from them. It's a documented report. I'm not saying something out of thin air. You can go and check with the authorities of United States, the cyber crime police force task force of America, Canada and US. Yes, there have been cases from India and they have caught people from Canada police force coming to India to nab the cyber criminals who were spoofing the numbers. You know, there's a technology in phone where any cyber criminal or a hacker, or if an imposter wants to do an imposter thing, can speak from any number. Yes, it can even call from your number to your number, and you will be surprised that your number is calling your own number. It can all happen under the disguise of technology known as phone spoofing technology. By that, they can call from any number. Don't just be fooled by a number calling you. It may be a fraudster, it may be a completely a fraud, because that person may have never called you. It may appear you on your phone. So that's what called phone spoofing technology. It's quite popular in India. Most of the sexual pedophiles and sexual predator population of India is using this. And the government of India and the top cops of India know that phone spoofing technology is being used. Any pedophile, any sexual predator of India, massive number of those predators can call from any number, even a government number they can call, because through phone spoofing technology, they can call from any number. And it will appear to you on phone like, oh, that person is calling. And they can do, you know, even impersonate about any person. It's quite common. I know it. My identity has been hacked many times. I've reported several times, and I've been always alerting authorities and whatnot that how I find that imposters, impersonators are trying to impersonate my ID, my identity, my phone number, my, you know, home address. Recently, look at this incident. I'll just share you on August 2nd, 2021 at about 4:13 hours UTC, ITC. Someone came up at my door. He basically called me because I don't have anything. I always lock doors. I don't even keep doorbells. Someone called me on my phone from the delivery guy and saying, okay, I have a parcel for you. You have ordered something from some site. I said, no, I never ordered. And I just wanted to check. I should have rejected. I rejected on upfront on the phone, but I still wanted to see what was it. I want to see the package and see to understand what was going on. So I came out. You can see here I'm on the gates. My gates are always locked. And I checked the parcel and I said, no, I never ordered. Rejected this. They say, no, you must have received message once you have ordered from that app. I said, no, I never used that app. It was naming some app. So because of the security concern, I'm not naming the whole thing, but I've given this report to the cops and the top cops and the, you know, DC of the city, Sasnagar Mohali range, and those people. So I said, this is all just a scam. It's all imposters doing these things. So I checked on my phone. I gave him the details that this is all fraud, and I rejected the order. I never picked up the parcel, whether it's free of cost, whether it's very discounted cost. I'm not going to pick. And then I checked that my name, my address, my phone number, everything was detailed on the package. That means someone using my name, my ID, as a fraud, as a cybercrime,
my name, my address
had this package delivered to me, and this was the height of alertness to me that I need to be extra aware. I'm always aware, but this thing really, you know, put me on my radar, because I'm already knowing that a lot of imposters are around misusing my name, my phone ID, and they're misusing, saying that they are known to me. So if these things are going openly, you can understand how much of cybercrime. That's why, you know, there are 0.4 million cyber attacks, cyber criminals cases registered to the government portal. I could have done those things, but I think I'm going to wait for more information, because sometimes my sixth sense say that there are other reasons people are doing this. But whatever the case is, this is not the right way, folks. This is not the right way to disturb a person, to basically use cybercrime activity like that and use this for any purpose which is non-confronting or non-conforming to the law and order of the land. And this is what I reported. and I was alarmed. And this is, you can see my doors are always locked. I always keep my doors locked. My gates are always locked 24/7, even though I'm residing inside.
In India.
The reason is because of the hate crime. I cannot trust anybody in India. It's very hard to trust.
And I'm very well aware that many people are trying to steal my identity.
Downright corrupt. They can do anything for corruption or for land. They can do anything with that.
They know,
and so I always keep it locked. I just
residing
keep
nearby
myself isolated from the population.
They come as
you don't want to intermingle with them
temporary
if you don't trust them.
And so I know these people, and I'm alerting these people
like you're living on an island all by yourself.
My identity is being misused. And being
folks, that's how it is.
Criminals are
and this is
misusing
the
it to
incident I reported from my Yahoo mail, which is sjsrana at yahoo.com. I reported to this packager who basically got this order to me, reported them as fraud order, so that they, and then I also reported to the authorities, which is the local DC, district collector here, also to the local SSP, top cop of Sasnagar Mohali. So I'm waiting for the response. They have not responded anything so far. Maybe I'll have to escalate to the parliaments and lawmakers now. I don't know. Why do they sleep over this cybercrime activity? And this is the reason why it keeps increasing in India. I have not received any reply from these people. And I've also included the local media newspaper and also reported to the International Media Guild. And if they don't respond another 1 or 2 days, I'm going to escalate. Because this is a serious activity. It's a threat against individual identity. If my identity is being stolen, mistakenly be used by people, or is going behind my back. That's the question I want to ask these people, these authorities, who don't really care. I've sent this email on their official email portal. So I'm going to escalate this. That's what the next step seems to be, right? And folks, quickly jumping on to the other topic now, let's see what's going on. This was the parcel I received. I just want to give you some glimpse. And you can imagine how these imposters were able to use my name, my phone number, my address detail. Everything was accurate. So this is the clear case of impersonation. Some app, and then post this as a package delivered to me, from me. What a scam. So folks, I keep repeating, it takes nothing to join the crowd, but it takes everything to stand alone. Even if you're isolated, you're standing alone, but you're standing by truth. That's the witness of God or a spiritual being or ethical human being. So it takes nothing to join the crowd, but it takes everything to stand alone. And that's my firm belief, and I stand by myself on this accord. And whether I'm isolated here, whether my trust can never come on these people, because 8 out of every 10 India population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars attacking humanity. So it's better to stay isolated and alone. So for last many years, I have not interacted with people. Even if I have done interaction, it has been on the request to help someone. Only on the request to help. Otherwise, self-willingly, I have never gone to any person in India, because I cannot trust people here in India. As simple as that, period. I cannot trust them. 8 out of every 10 India population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars. Okay folks, I've had enough of this, because this is something where I want to tell why this whole India is an underperforming in Olympics. Because they keep playing this metaphor games, befooling the whole world, and the real games which is to be played in Olympics, they are ranking at 62 ranking. Can you imagine 1.4 billion population, 1.4 billion population cannot produce a gold medal? Because they're playing metaphor games. And the frauds India people commit everywhere in every other nation is at the highest level. When they go by the national fraudsters, in any nation they go, they will find India always at top. Look at this recent fraud committed by this Ashish Bajaj, 20 years age, from India. He's charged with 2.4 million fraud, impersonating as some person and then trying to rip off an elderly US citizen, senior citizen of US. They're trying to rip off. It's a charge there. It has not been proven, because in US, a person is innocent unless proven guilty in the courts. However, this charge has been laid out of some facts. Obviously, when the DOG, which is Department of Justice, lays down these charges. It's not out of fluke or out of corruption, just like in India can do anyone. In India, authorities can lay any charge based on corruption. You just feed some money to someone and they'll start they implicate you in anything. That's what we have discussed so far so long. But this was the case which Mr. Bajaj has been charged. Not just this, look at this another fraud from India at the state of Minnesota. Sunisha Lee is from Minnesota. I remember her because her performance in Olympics Tokyo is so good. Well, Minnesota, I love that state, but look at this thing, how the crime is being connected. CEO president of this Crossroad Inc., a cloud-based software and IT company, and look at the fraud he has committed. Look at how he's trying to, misappropriate more than $1.7 million, and he has pleaded guilty. Always find India people on top list when there's something to do with cybercrime, cyber attacks, frauding people, deceit and lies, deception. Okay, you'll always find them top performer. In every nation, you'll find them top performer. So these things keep occurring, and when they come back to India, they enjoy a lavish life. Just like Gupta brothers from South Africa, after the corruption cartel had that large massive scale of corruption, organized corruption, you can say money laundering scheme in South Africa, they come back in India and now they're enjoying their lavish life. Just like they're kings here. They're treated with complete respect because they have earned the money. So folks, look at how it's going, but the world doesn't run by deceit and deception. Ethical grounds, moral grounds, I keep repeating, reality is subjective. Finding is the reality. If the materialistic world is the reality, which people are after, and they are ready to do anything, cutthroat, deceit, deception, lie, but at the real level, what is the reality? That's my basic question to humanity. And this is my statement I've coined 7 years back. Reality is subjective. Finding abject reality is our objective. What's the abject reality? That's what we must look for. Otherwise, other than that, if you're just running after materialistic world and trying to become an unethical being, then we are inviting pathogens. When inviting this war, which I predicted July 2019, you can Google search hashtag MAY 2020 WW3. So look at the amount of records that have been leaked, cybercrime, cyber attack, and also the amount of stolen records from the cybercrime. Over 5 billion records have been leaked in 2021 alone. This is by the statistics provided by Atlas VPN. And the most of the cybercrime or the leaking of the records occurred in February 2021. So folks, these are telling the amount of deceit, deception increasing in the world. As the COVID-19 disasters have left people, you can say, under a shabby condition, under, lack of money, they are now willing to do anything which is unethical, immoral, unlawful. All these things are going on. And more so as we see India having 250 million skilled worker unemployed. If people don't have money to even pay rent, how are they going to carry on with their families? They're living in rented accommodation. Many of the people here don't have a housing. Government doesn't provide them any relief. So what are they going to do? They have a two choice. Either they live by ethical grounds, be a moral person, and continue with whatever the conditions are given to them, whether it's poor, good, or best. Or they try to deceit, deception, try to take the unethical ways. Many of these crimes are occurring in India. You can recently find this Avanta Group promoter Gautam Thapar arrested by ED in India for money laundering. Many of these people, look at how these people are allegedly taking money from people on marriage, on whatnot, and sending them to Canada. Then these people are murdered. This is a recent case, gruesome murder of a boy, basically because he was murdered. And the claim goes back to the girl who married this boy just to go to Canada and then took money, something around 24 lakh they spent, and now nowhere to be found. So these things are going on. Okay, quickly jumping on to the military scale war games. We already know very massive, brilliant war games are going in China, and Russia joined hands with China, and it's a very strategic game. And I am knowing that China should be now preparing for a naval war games as well, because I am seeing Navy has to be strengthened in China. They have air power superiority and they also have very good infantry. But I think China needs to have very strong, sound naval force. So look at this base recently discovered from people, investigative journalists, that India is having secret island base near Mauritius. Mauritius is another nation where India is having close, good, friendly ties. So it has taken over this island per reports. This is the satellite image of the island being developed as a military base, secret military base by India. And the things going on, folks, is because there is a Quad, you can say a Quad Accord, which includes Australia, Japan, India, and the US, UK also in its to some extent, to basically have the IOR patrolled by these nations. So they don't want China to gain any hand on the India IOR, which is Indian Oceanic Region. It doesn't belong to India, but it's named as IOR because there are Commonwealth nations that have claims on it. But China is also having claim because China says it's that's going to be some war games. There's going to be something coming up. So let's see how this develops. But India Defense Ministry is quite on this island discovery military base. So this means they know something about it.
A tsunami warning has been issued for this area. Move to high ground immediately. Tune to your local radio station for details.
So okay folks, I sign off, I take leave, and we'll meet in the next session. You can always search YouTube by sjsrana.